Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing? Welcome to another episode of At Joe Cupcake Unedited. I'm your boy, At Joe Cupcake, and we are about to get unedited with another fucking special guest. I am so excited. Before I talk about that, before I get to that lovely man, before we start kicking shit off and making shit happen, I don't know what that noise my computer just made was. Hopefully you did not hear it on the stream or on the live video. Oh, it did it again. Still don't know what it is. Hopefully you're not hearing it. My bad if you are. Here we go. Oh, it's part of my Facebook. Let me shut that shit down. There we go. Okay, tight. Yeah, we have a guest today. Like I said, he's from a sick band. I met him when he was even in a sicker band. But before I get started on that, thanks for checking out the last couple of episodes. Got some new subscribers, got some new followers. You know what I mean? Be sure to subscribe. Hit that button down below on the YouTube channel here, straight down underneath me. Do that shit up. You might notice we have a special guest today on the stream. Danny D is right here, right underneath him. If you can see right down here, Bowie is sleeping. She's passed out like a fucking angel. Look at her. There she is. Obviously, none of you can see that if you're listening on the podcast form. If you've been checking it out that way, I know we have quite a few podcast listeners nowadays. I appreciate it. That is tight. So here we go. Let's get started. My guest today is a man named Steve Tinnon, better known as Steve the Mess. He's my favorite brother from another mother that I love to eat pizza with. Any time, place, continent, date, fucking apocalypse, heaven, afterlife, hell, whatever. What have you not? Oh my gosh. Steve, what's up, brother? How are we doing?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Dude, I'm good, dude. I'm good.
You're looking good.
I'm trying, dude. I'm trying. Had a long, busy day today, but hey, it's all.
I did too, man. I did too. Before we even get started, I brought myself some beer because I feel like I had a busy day as well, and I earned it.
I got some Fiji. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Supporting the islands. You know what I mean?
You do what you gotta do. I started drinking a lot of IPAs, being in this band, because Joe owns his own brewery. So I started just trying all kinds of stuff, and I'm been into these this mango IPA by Voodoo Ranger. I don't know if it's hard to say. Oh, you can kind of tell a little bit.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that in the stores.
Yeah, it's like 1985. It's a mango IPA, and I super identify with this guy right now. Like kind of like dead inside, but still trying to party and rock it.
Dude, I love it. I love it.
You know what I mean?
Well, on that note, he mentioned Joe. He means Joe from Within the Ruins.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Joe Coachy. We call him Coach.
The coach, dude.
Call him Coach.
The coach, dude. Yeah, Steve. There's some info right there on the bottom, dude. Holler, dude. Holler.
Holler.
Steve sings for a band called Within the Ruins. We're not here to talk about those fucking swamp donkeys today, though. When I met Steve, he was playing in a rad band. Well, actually, technically, you were in a band called Silence the Messenger. But when I met you in person for the first time, you were filling in for another band, right?
Yeah.
You were filling in for American Me. I was like, which band on that tour package were you?
I was on that tour. Man, I thought about that recently because that tour was like a month and a half long, and I remember very specifically because I had to ask off from work at Best Buy at the time, and it was so last minute for me to fill in. It was like April 1st to May 15th. It was like a literal month and a half, and that was my first real tour ever. And I had to learn like 11 or 12 songs in a couple weeks, and they were kind of shorter songs, so it wasn't like super awful or anything crazy. But it was 2010, so that was 10 years ago.
That was. Damn, so we have been friends that long. That's tight.
Dude, I know. I thought about that recently because that tour came up on a memories thing, and I very specifically remember 2010 being a pivotal year for what I was trying to do with music at the time, and I'm forever grateful those guys asked me to fill in on that tour because I just met a bunch of cool people that really have been good to me and my guys over the years, and you were one of them.
That's tight. And what's funny about that year is we switched, brother, because that 2010 was really the last year I spent touring. After that, through no fault of my own, I stopped touring with the three main bands I toured with. You know what I mean? One was one was through a fault of my own. The other two was just a bunch of garbage industry politics, as you know, unfortunately happened. So like I think that show was like around October, I want to say, or July with you, and then I think I went out that fall. And then after that, I stopped touring, dude. So like when I met
Do you miss it? You gotta miss it, right?
Oh, dude, I have. Everybody gives me crap because like all my social media bios have the "not all who wander are lost" thing in it, and everyone's like, you know, every time my eye has the song "Wanderlust," which I think basically describes half of it. That is also a quote from The Hobbit. You know what I mean? Which is part of the reason why it's on all my quotes. But dude, yeah, like that feeling of wanderlust, like sometimes it's nice, dude. Just like you wake up in a new town, you experience new people, you experience new foods, new sights, new sounds, new weather, new everything, you know?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Like, there's just like the people that have never experienced it, you can't really trade it for anything in the world. You know what I mean?
I couldn't and I wouldn't, man. Like I try and be as grateful for that as I possibly can. I always think about, especially since then, like meeting a bunch, not just industry people, but just like friends in general, like even if they're in bands that broke up, or whoever, just like friends like that I would never have known otherwise. And I'm still, getting to do it. So I'm like still really grateful, but that's one thing. It's hard to describe to other people sometimes. Like they get it on the surface, but until you actually do it and go live with your backpack and a small suitcase or something and sleep in a van at Walmart and wake up in a different city, like you're not always getting to sightsee and do like cool stuff every time, every day. But you're right. It's an experience that not everybody gets to have.
Like some people, like I describe it to some people, and they're like, "Oh, so like you spend every day getting like maybe 4 hours of sleep, dealing with who knows what fucking weather conditions, possibly a broken AC or a heater that runs way too hot. You know what I mean? Getting stuck
for sure.
Getting stuck in snow, which did actually happen to me within the Ruins before you joined the band. I rode with them for like half a tour, and like that fucking pass between Denver and Salt Lake City, we got stuck at the top.
Oh man!
And like literally, like the bucket doors, like the middle doors, they wouldn't slide open. Like we had to roll the window down and pee out the window to melt enough snow to get the door to open, dude. It was
wow.
That was wild, dude. That was wild.
That's awesome.
I remember somebody being really mad at me on that tour because we like got stuck in the snow, and like we had some of us had said let's not try the pass, some of us had said let's try the pass, probably me, you know what I mean?
It's like fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. So like just kind of is what it is, you know what I mean?
Dude, it happens. You can't control all that all the time. I mean, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
So you're going to be in shitty conditions sometimes.
Yeah. So
that's tour life, baby.
Dude, it is.
That's showbiz, baby.
Oh my god, it's all of it. I also think on that tour, like we used to do this thing where like in the Ruins van, where like so everybody had a place to sleep. One of us would sleep behind the back bench, like on the floor. I snored, so they always banished me back there. You know what I mean? And I think one day I was like roughhousing with Joe or Tim or somebody, and I like rolled over the corner and I like smashed the back corner of the bench or fucking whatever. You know what I mean? I guess I like tweaked it a little bit. Tim claims I like broke the whole bench and all this stuff, but he also likes to make fun of me because I'm fat. But he's also not in the band anymore because you replaced him, so it's all good.
I did. That's true. I did. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. But you know what? That's enough about that, Steve, because we're here to get to know you, unedited.
Let's go.
No, I don't go back and change this. I don't fix it. I don't tamper with it. I'm not going to remove the glare from these sunglasses I shouldn't be fucking wearing. You know what I mean?
Fucking wear them, dude. It's unedited.
Dude, you're right.
You wear what you want to fucking wear, my man.
Dude, thank you, my man. Thank you.
I think they look good.
Well, let's start with young Steve. Let's call you that for the next like 20 minutes.
He existed for a while.
Yeah, let's start with young Steve, and then let's go up into like how you got into a band, Silence the Messenger. I know you guys had like a rough ending because you were one of the bands that got fucked by the industry. Let's just leave it like that. Mm-hmm. And then what middle-aged Steve did, and then now you got Within the Ruins Steve. So like
It is a good little trifecta of occurrences. So that works.
And before we get started and go any further, like everybody, Steve's handles right there. Steve the Mess. Right there. Follow him. Find him on the internet. Right there. Yeah, follow him.
It's all of them.
Yeah,
Instagram, Twitter. It's Steve the Mess has been everything for years.
So. There you go.
Not a hard man to find.
before I'm gonna get this out of the way now, Steve, just so we can just get it out of the way. I love Silence the Messenger, and I will never not bring that up, and I will never not back that. Achilles was so sick.
Dude, thank you.
So sick. Like, I am about it, dude. Like, I loved that record. I enjoyed the band, like, when we were just kind of casually friends, and then when that record dropped, I was like, this is so...
Yeah, because you and I became friends, like, technically right before we even had an official, like, EP drop. We were still handing out demos here and there, and we didn't even have an EP out when you and I became friends. So like you were just like the homie, and then we got signed and that album came out. So I'm glad you liked it, man, dude. I have so many not regrets, but just like feelings that bum me out about what happened with that band. It's we'll get there when it gets closer to Midway.
But yeah. So take me to young. Start the journey, brother.
Okay, but I'm gonna take you back to super young Steve because it's a bit of a lengthy journey. I can sum it up, but so it basically started when I was a wee one, like super young Steve. This would have been first or second grade. My parents put me into a magnet school, a private school. And so I was forced to learn an instrument, and I basically had to choose between like orchestra or either band or choir. I can't really remember. But I had a crush on this girl, and I'll never forget her name just because it's part of the story. Her name was Elizabeth Davis. She'll never see this, but it's fine. It was just I had this crush on her, and I was like, you know what? I was following my heart, and I was just like, well, she's in the orchestra. She plays violin, so I'm going to play the violin. And so I started playing violin, man, and I kept that going all the way up until like early high school, like the middle freshman, junior year. No, sophomore year.
All right.
Yeah, I took private lessons. I did orchestra competitions. I would get in like the top 10 chairs of district competitions. I got first chair one year, second chair, and like I think 7th or 8th chair one year. And that's like out of multiple areas of the city competing for a spot for like this district orchestra concert that would happen. And I know I'm tooting my own horn a little bit, but I was fucking good. I got really good. And so I took private lessons on the side. I would take it as a class in school. And but the problem with that was as I was kind of entering those teenage years, I was like good enough to where I didn't feel any practice. And I was just lying on my practice sheets all the time about how many hours I practice each week because you had to do it for a grade. And then, but your parents would have to sign it. And eventually my parents were like, we're not going to lie for you anymore. And I was just like, fuck. So I eventually started to do bad in orchestra class in school. And then eventually I was like, you know what, this sucks. This is lame. This is boring. I wanted to I was watching a lot of MTV at the time and getting into like new metal bands. I'm a giant new metal guy. Like I'll talk new metal. We could have a whole different podcast about.
I know.
Vlogcast. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, I'm trying to coin that term, and every time I say it, like the third time it comes out of my mouth, I'm like, that does sound kind of stupid, but it perfectly explains what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean?
It does. I think it works. I'll keep pushing it for you.
Okay, Ty. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So I was like, you know what? I'm a teenager. I want to pick up guitar and I want to start playing like that kind of music. And, so I bought an acoustic guitar and I bought this electric guitar. The electric guitar came first and I still have it just because it was my first one. That was like my transition from playing orchestra music to rock. And so all I would do was sit. And when I bought that guitar, I was born in Texas and I live in Texas now, but there was a short, like 3-year span where my dad's job took us to Utah. And so we had a basement, which actually kind of ended up working out because I could be loud down there. And I don't have a place to do that now, or I didn't before. Yeah. So I would play my guitar really loud in my parents' basement. And I would also start I would put like Korn's albums or Linkin Park or Disturbed or whoever into like a CD boombox, like I had this silver Sony one. I'd play it really loud and I would scream and try and sing along because I always felt connected to those bands a lot. And so I was always in my basement practicing either playing guitar or singing along and screaming, trying to like figure it all out.
Yeah.
And then the high school I went to up there had this battle of the bands that wasn't a battle of the bands. It wasn't a battle.
I mean, they're never that, but yes, I know what you mean.
No, it's like, it's not a battle. It's just how many people did you bring? So,
or how
but
many
it was like,
you sell, or
true.
Yeah.
We were like the second band. So we weren't anything big or whatever. It was just me and a few friends. We played 2 originals and a Blink-182 cover. It was like I would play pop punk all the time, like old pop punk, and then new metal. Those were my jams.
What Blink song did you cover? Do you remember?
Damn it!
Great choice. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. No, and I actually still have it on a VHS. My parents recorded it, the little 3-song set. Man, we were called Happy to Be Here, and we made these stupid shirts with like a smiley face, 2, a B, and then a down arrow. So it was kind of a play on like a Blink-182 joke about like dick jokes and stuff. But we did use it on stage. You're like, hey, we're happy to be here. It was dumb. We were teenagers, but like the second I got off stage just playing those 3 songs, I had my guitar in one hand and my amp in another, and I was walking to my mom's minivan, and I had felt this rush of like, that was the first time I'd ever played in front of anybody and sang. It was in front of a microphone. Yeah. And I was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, you were hooked. The hooks were in the meat.
Oh, they were in, and I was like a victim in Leatherface's basement at that point. Like I was on the hook, dude. And it had me, man. I wanted to play music live. And I would figure it out eventually. And then I moved back to San Antonio and finished my last couple of years of high school there. But I started playing in some just kind of like jam bands with some buddies. And then it led me to getting eventually playing shows at the White Rabbit, which I'm sure you're familiar with. May it rip in peace.
Dude, did you see that thing I posted the other day on Facebook?
What?
You know how there's that stupid like when he says he wants to take you out meme going around or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, when he says I know a place.
Yeah, when a scene kid says I know a place, and that's an old picture of the White Rabbit with like a line out the front door.
I did see that. I did see that. I was like, oh man. And here's the funny part too. I mean, you know just as well as I do that venue is beloved by every touring band. So many bands and guys love that place.
I think my only complaint about that venue ever.
There's a couple small things, but
no, literally was one thing. Was
the
just
bathroom?
that. Well, I mean that shit happens. You know what I mean? Sorry, my laundry timer went off. Whoopsie.
You're getting whoopsie.
No, it was just the fact that it was in Texas and it got so damn hot sometimes. That was literally the only complaint. If there had been a little bit more shade outside, just a little, just a smidge. And then it wasn't in Texas where it's fucking, the
degrees.
The fucking heat level of the fucking sun's, surface. It would have been great, dude. I would have loved it.
I don't blame you at all. And then the only saving grace of that would be if you can hold out till later in the night when it's darker and it cools down a little bit, you can drink beers in the back parking lot and usually nobody would say anything.
Not just any beers. You drink Lone Stars or Shiners, dude. That's what you drink in Texas, dude.
That's true. And I do have some Lone Stars in the fridge right now. I almost always have some just to have, but it was always Lone Star.
I miss them.
Always. I miss them.
I miss them. The Tall Boys, the Lone Star, didn't matter what room, what tour you were on, what clubs you play in Texas, they served that. And then also obviously the fucking, Shiner on tap, dude, is just
for sure.
For years we couldn't get Shiner on the West Coast. Now we can.
I was gonna say you guys have it now, right? I know it's made its way around.
It's in Bevmo and some of those places. It's not you can't get it everywhere, but the serious liquor stores and Bevmo and shit like that, you definitely can't get it in. And I love it, dude. It's it does not taste the same when you're not drinking it in dead ass Texas heat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine. Plus, after it's traveling, it's been traveling for a second to get to different states and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So you guys probably have the price jacked up on it a little bit too.
I don't remember what it is, but I'm on a new diet right now. I can't drink anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. Oh hello.
So,
All right.
I'm trying that for a month. It's all good. And then
you do what you gotta do. Dude, I've done it a couple times
I'll
during
be
all
right
this.
back on my cheap beer and tequila wagon. You know what I mean? But I'll be eating better. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, dude, I try, but.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I try and eat better sometimes too, but I'm sitting here wearing a Pizza My Heart shirt.
I was gonna say, like, respect on that shirt,
dude. I had to wear it for you.
Like, guys, so everybody watching the first time, I know we're jumping around with our story here a little bit.
We totally are. Yeah, we can put it.
Like the first time. So, Steve grew up going to shows with the White Rabbit. Cool. They formed Silence the Messenger. Cool. They got signed to some small label. Cool. Had a rad booking agent. Fuck you, Dan, if you watch this.
Dan booked a couple things we were on, but he was never officially our agent.
I know.
Yeah, we had some news.
I know. I gotta give DeFonce the problem. You know what I mean? Like, I always gotta give him the little, like, yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah. So,
Danny boy.
Yeah. So, but Silence the Messenger rolls through, and I was like, I got this spot. I feed all the bands this because I used to work here. They were like, we love pizza. We go to Pizza My Heart. Everything is surfing themed, California, West Coast themed. They have this hot sauce that's green called Shark Repellent.
Shark
and
Repellent.
Like, these guys, I have never known a band that was like as excited to be treated to Pizza My Heart as Within the Ruins. And I have fed a lot of bands Pizza My Heart over the 15 years I've been doing this, Steve.
Dude, we were so pumped. Like, it was there was one time we played. I can't remember what the very first show we played with you was. I don't remember what tour it was when we first went to Pizza My Heart, but it was like we would go every time we come back and see you. We're always just like, hey, where's the nearest Pizza My Heart? And we would make the drive. And one time after a show, I forget, did we go with the 8th Year guys maybe?
Yes, we did.
You took us to a burrito place once, which was sick. I mean,
that was La Vix. I think that was because the Pizza My Heart was closed already.
It was later at night. I remember.
It was later. That was when you guys played San Jose that one time at the Rock Shop or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. So yeah, the second or third time we came through, they had. I guess they have this all the time, but they have this deal where if you bought a shirt, you get a slice with it for how much? It's super cheap, right?
Not even $5. It was like
I think it was like $6 or $7 maybe.
No, it's like $6 now. I think it was like $5 back then when I took you.
Even better.
It was
and
like
I was just like, dude, fuck yeah.
Pizza and a T-shirt were $5. Like,
yeah, Pizza My Heart, Santa Cruz. Much love to that chain out there.
But yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyway, Silence the Messenger. I'm skipping around. So you fell in love playing shows. You have the White Rabbit, which is without a doubt like one of the best local venues to grow up being able to play at.
That's where we left off.
If not the best. Yeah, which I talked about the rabbit, and then I jumped down the rabbit hole of not staying on Subbed, which I do all the fucking time.
Who cares? That was good. That was a good little connection there. The rabbit to the rabbit hole?
Some people don't appreciate my punniness. You know what I mean? I'm sure DeFonce is going to watch this with Sean Mott, and they're both going to be like, oh, damn it, Joel.
Dude,
rolling their eyes, and they're probably both going to text me about that pun right there.
That one be like, dude, that was trash. Dude, I'm so about wordplay. I think it's so much fun, even if they suck. Like sometimes I'll be texting my girlfriend about something, and I'll say something just awfully bad, and I know it's bad right away when I say it. I'm just like, maybe it'll land, maybe it'll work, but sometimes I do, and she's like, yeah, that's really good. And sometimes she's a teacher, so she appreciates like smarter humor.
That's good.
Not that it's smart at all, because it's real dumb sometimes.
I mean, hey, a lot of people from our walks of life are good at making themselves look smarter than they are. You know,
that is very true.
We have a lot of bullshitters in the music industry.
That's very true.
Some would say I'm included in that list, but
hey, well, if you are, then you're doing a good job, because I've never thought that of you. So
thanks.
It's because if you are, then you're one of the best ones at it.
I mean, I'm going to give it a little bit of like truth to that, and a little bit of like not truth. You know?
Yeah, but you have to be at some small level.
True. You're not wrong.
No. Yeah. But, so the rabbit. The irony of everybody loving the rabbit is when I started going there in high school, I thought it was a shithole. I had no clue. I was just like, I don't have anything to compare it to. I just walked in. I was like, this place is crap. And like, boy, did I learn that lesson real quick. Once you start touring, you're like, no, the Rabbit is like the place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that I started like playing STM shows there out of high school. There was like this one band in high school. They were called the Boy Scout Cookies. And I remember one specific time before STM was a thing, I was leaving the parking lot. One of my local high school bands had a show that night, but so did them. They were like a comic jokey band. They would just make funny songs and like bring all their friends. And like one of their fans like yelled.
You mean the arsonist and all the girls of your area?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I suppose. I don't know if I ever like met any of those guys though.
Oh.
If I did, I don't.
I feel like maybe you came when I was on tour with them, maybe like at the end of it, but who fucking knows, dude? Honestly,
so many of those blur together though. So maybe, but like one of them yelled some shit of this like, no one's gonna go see your band and everyone's gonna go see Boy Scout Cookies, and I was just like, fuck, man, like I'm just trying to play music and like I'm getting shit on, and now like all the like. No like disrespect to any of those guys, but I don't keep in contact really with any of them. But none of them exactly followed through with music at all. So, so I'll take it as a dub.
Their problem, not yours. You know what I mean?
Very much so. So yeah, then it was just played through a few small bands just here and there, like out of high school, and then in 2000, I think it was like 7, James and I actually tried out for STM at the same time. They like double booked a tryout, and we were both actually trying out for bass. And I showed up with equipment that I had bought and all this stuff. I was ready to go. I had like this sick Through the Eyes of the Dead shirt on. I was like, I want these guys to know that I'm ready to go.
Was it a Bloodlust shirt?
No, it was right. It wasn't an actual Bloodlust shirt. It was one that it was super like the blocky letter logo like from that record, but it had I think like 2 big skulls and some drippy shit on it, and I had sleeved it and everything.
Typical 2000s shirt. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, but it was dope. It was one of my favorite shirts. I was like, I want to look the part when I go in there and all this stuff. I had studied the songs really well. James ended up getting the part though because he worked at Guitar Center at the time and they wanted to get hooked up. And I was like, it's like, okay, I get it. So, but then one by one, they kicked out a guitarist and they switched him to guitar. They brought me in as bass. And then the singer was this like drug addict dude. And he literally, I'm not exaggerating this. And because I don't even really know the guy anymore. So I don't he was like this drug addict dude. And he had recordings where he would go in and just like do the fake scream stuff, but like just make noises. And I'm not exaggerating. I mean, he literally just made noises and they weren't words. And so he would just write lyrics later and say, this is what he was saying in the studio. It was awful. And so they eventually
fucking gross, dude,
it was real fucked up. And so
that's a big fat loser on the forehead, dude.
It's a big one. And so James and I, little by little, just started kicking people out, and we kind of got the band to a good little spot. And they asked me to do vocals once we kicked him out, just to try it. And the first practice after a couple songs, they were like, "Do you just want to stay vocals?" Like that was awesome. And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So that was how I started like singing. I'd messed around with it before, but nothing super serious. And then STM was just doing. This is all obviously MySpace era stuff, and so. You do all the demo stuff where you record stuff on CDRs and you write the tracks on them. Yeah. Sometimes I'd put them in little plastic disc cases and print like from my parents' printer, like our shitty logo at the time, and waste all of the ink, and they would get mad at me for making all these dumb demos.
I know all too well. Yeah.
But that's what you did though. You had to grind, man, if you wanted to get anywhere. Like MySpace was cool to get your stuff out.
Yeah, exactly.
But you have to do the work. And before we did anything, James came over like multiple nights, and he like stayed the night, and we would sit on the computer and like message promoters and venues, whoever we could find, other bands in certain areas to try. And we booked our own tour. The very first tour STM ever did, we booked it by ourselves, me and James. It was just what you had to do.
Yep.
And it was like a quick Florida run there and back. And the second day, we had spent like $800 on some shitty van, and it caught fire the second day. We didn't even get out of Texas.
God, yeah.
Yeah, and then my parents drove out my 4Runner. They both left their jobs at like 7 a.m, drove out to some small Texas town, and we hooked up my 4Runner to our little 5x8 trailer. And it was like 5 of us. Yep, it was 5 of us. We did like the rest of it was still 2 weeks. It was like all the way to Florida and back in my fucking 4Runner.
Dude, so, the first tour I ever did was with the Arsonist guys. It was like the west. It was like the up to Olympia, Washington, over down through like Denver, like that loop. you know,
Uh-huh.
and then we like ended in Vegas, I think, and like we did it in I had a hatchback 2-door Honda Civic.
What?
And one of those, like, was it the Toyota Sienna, like the old, like, gross poop gold minivan?
Yeah.
Like, that's what we did the fucking tour in 2 cars, dude, for 6, 7 people, something like that.
Wow. And you said no trailers? You just had the equipment like in the
Yeah,
in the
the
cars?
minivan. We had 4 people in my car, and then with most of the clothes, and then we had all the gear, and the other 3 people in the minivan, or maybe it was 3. I don't know, who fucking knows, dude.
Yeah.
Who knows, man.
Did you do that like at like a decent time of year at least? Because that can be a pain in the ass drive if you're doing it like
I don't
fall,
remember,
winter.
but I think it was like late summer, early fall, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so not
all
awful.
the PBR. I don't remember that era of my life too well.
Yeah.
All I remember is the guys had like they were in the culture. Like I was just like a local dude who like just started throwing shows, and I knew the Arsonist guys. They needed another vehicle, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, we'll go with them. You know what I mean? I'll come with you guys, and I'll help drive. That's all it was. It was like I had nothing. I had no idea what being on tour was like. I had heard no stories from friends, nothing. Well, they all knew like tour pranks. They had all this stuff ready to go, and fucking Remy, the old singer, he brought this camcorder, like, you know, back in the day when they were pretty big, but he had one, and I remember he brought it. He was stoked on it because it had night vision. That was when like
cool.
You couldn't like easily get night vision like video recording
stuff.
It
was like new feature.
Yeah, like it was like a new feature. You know what I mean? And so, you know, he had it, and so we're driving. You know, I'm in my, we're in the little fucking my little like hatchback Honda Civic thing. You know what I mean? And so we're fucking sitting there, and I'm in the passenger seat, and I'm asleep. Okay, right. So I hear Remy. I don't know. I don't remember who was driving. Honestly, I think it might have been Remy, and then someone else had the camera behind me. So they reach around me, and they basically put the camera in my lap, right? And then fucking Remy's driving, and I hear him go, "Oh shit!" Like all loud. And so they had like pulled up right like diagonal, like kitty corner to one of those like semi truck flatbeds where the container wasn't on it.
Yeah.
So all I see is like the lights and just like the flat truck bed of metal, dude. And I was like, "What the fuck? What are you guys doing?" Ah! And then he like slows down and gets behind the truck and just starts busting up laughing. And I just like, I don't know if Pat's mom still has that video. I hope she does. But I just immediately like cuss out Remy, and then I punched whoever's holding the camera, and it falls on the floor. And it's just like at my feet, and you just hear me screaming at these guys, dude. Like,
dude, if you've got that, I need to see that.
Pat's mom might have it. I'll ask Eileen. I still keep in touch with his family. Rest in peace to the man himself. But you know what I mean. Like so I'll ask her if she might still have it. Remy might have it. Instead, I'll holler at him. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, I cut you off. Yeah. So you did that,
dude, that's fine.
That little tour, that little jaunt on over to Florida.
Dude, it was just rough. I mean, we spent all of our own money, and it just lost a van 2 days in. But I think the point of that though is just like that's what you have to do though to eventually get somewhere. And like there was actually a point before we got signed. It was I think it was right after that American Me tour where James and I actually hit up DeFonts and was just like, hey, we're not necessarily asking to have you pick us up if you don't want to, but would you mind maybe giving us like, can you give us some contacts to book some of our own stuff? And I think he hooked us up with at least a few for some dates that we needed. So that was kind of like our introduction to DeFonts too. But just, I mean, because honestly, like you guys
he was the metalcore overlord before he was the death metal overlord, right?
Yeah, he's darkened it up a bit over the years. But
now he's just the Twitch overlord. But yeah, sure. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So. Back and there was just the running joke of, oh, did you get DeFonts with his old tours? And
it's still the running joke, dude. Like,
we only had one, like really, I guess one actual tour. No, well, STM did anyways, like one, but it wasn't like awful enough to where we were like, we should get those tattoos that people have with all the dates.
I'm getting that tattoo just because he's.
Are you gonna get it?
Well, I have the B-Dubs logo above my left kneecap, so.
Oh right.
And that's from like when I toured. That's from that time.
Oh,
And when
okay.
that happened, you know what I mean? And so like I might as well get above my other kneecap the Fonts logo, because why the fuck not? You know what I
That's
mean?
true. He's my friend too, and I don't.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
think it's funny.
Yeah. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
it's
So
fucking hilarious. Like,
it is. I think those are great. I don't even.
yeah,
Do you know who? Do you know who designed that tattoo? Do you know
dude,
who
I
came
don't
up with it?
remember. I think it was
But a
like,
ton of people have it.
yeah, I mean, one of the bands I manage, Wolf King, Tim, the singer, he fucking has it. You know what I mean? Like, and they've never even really been to Fonts super hard. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But just because like Dan's their agent and like they love the shit, it just happens. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I love the stories. Like to go, we're gonna go off subject again, but it's my
No,
show.
let's go, dude.
Okay.
We've been on STM too long.
I love like the stories where you're like, oh yeah, we did our first run from outside of Texas and it was to Florida. Like, I love people coming from the West Coast. Like, that is the farthest you can go. But then, like, when you think about it in relation, like, from Texas, that's an easy tour. Now that I've traveled the country and been there, but from people don't realize that like Arizona, with the exception of like the 6 years that Metal Devastation 2 was around, Arizona is a terrible place to play half the time. Like, I'm not digging the scene, I'm not digging the people, but like there's always drama with the promoters and the venues. There's always competing shows. Like, there's no unity in that scene on like an industry level. You know what I mean? Like, out here in the Bay, like, yeah, sometimes we'll have 3 shows at the same time, but like me and the other promoters will all hit each other up. Like, okay, they're not the exact same styles of music. Like, yo, I'm going to shout out that your show's coming up. Like, hey, can I come to a few of your shows before? And like, I'll promote my upcoming events. You give me your flyers. I'll do that at my show. You know, like, we work it out. And like Arizona just like never had that. And like, just Metal D had such a hold, on that scene, and it did so good for it. And then I feel like since then it's just kind of like, if you can't get booked at like basically like what, like, well, back then, this is back then. So like once what Metal D shut down, there was the Rock or whatever the fuck that
Rock
place
in
Tucson.
Yeah, Tucson.
And then there was like, Joe's Grotto. None of that shit was around. So it's just like what the underground, right? The Nile, like,
yeah.
And that was it. And if you couldn't get there, you literally were like, oh, here's 9 hours of driving where I can't play a show.
I know. You're either doing it or you're going to be like, all right.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is awkward.
Guess we're moseying on.
Yeah. So it's just like, fuck, man. Like, I mean, I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, it can be shitty sometimes,
Dude, it can be. It's just, it's those, you put up with it.
Yeah.
You either love it or you don't.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, I don't know.
Dude, I don't know. Well, anyway, like, I know you've done what, 2 tours within the Ruins now, right?
If you count let's see. So there's like the one that I filled in and I jumped on like halfway through.
That's right.
Yeah, they had they were doing a giant like 5-week headliner.
That's right.
Yeah, and I like what's funny is I was on vacation with my parents in Florida at the time. Actually, on the day we were leaving to the airport, they happened to be in town and in Orlando, and they were like, "Hey, we're at this Planet Fitness. Come by on your way to the airport." So I literally saw them on that tour in a different state and just hung out with them in a parking lot for a little bit. And then like a couple weeks later, Joe's texting me like I'll never forget it. It was pretty funny. He's like, hey man, how you doing? And I was like, I'm good. And I'm sitting at the gym and just going through my routine. And I was like,
just getting your fucking free pumps in. You know what I mean?
Getting jacked, bro. And he's like, so do you remember when we stole your guitarist? And I was like, yeah. What's up? Because like I guess one night, so like Paolo was just gonna fill in for them for All Stars tour, and then ended up being permanent playing bass.
Yeah,
and like we kind of knew that was gonna happen, but we were also still trying to like hold on to the rest, what was left of STM at the time. We were like, no man, you use the Ruins tour. Obviously, wear an STM shirt on stage and use that to network and whatever.
Yeah.
And that was the plan. And but like you could realistically be more or less sure that was what was going to happen anyways.
Yeah.
So I guess one night though, and I don't have any recollection of this, but one night I think it was when they came through on All Stars tour, they came through San Antonio. I was like, well, let's go see Paolo. And we went out and I got super drunk, and when I was saying bye to them, I couple of the guys, and I think Joe was like falling asleep in the van, like they were ready to go, and I was like all drunk leaving, and I was like, "Thanks for stealing my guitarist," and I like slammed the fucking van door, all pissed off and dramatic and shit. But I was just like,
all the shade, dude, all
the shade, man. I was just, and I get why I did it, because I was always so dedicated to STM, dude. I had offers to sing for multiple other bands, and I never took them. I never took them because I had put so much into STM that I wanted that to be my thing that I built up. It was, more or less my baby. And I was just like, you know what, because we had been friends with the Ruins dudes for a long time too, since like 2009. STM and Ruins have been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
And so
we're all dads. So
we're all dads anyway. So it was like, I understood, but
I'm sure half people watching right now are like, "What? You guys don't have?"
What are you doing? It's a thing. You may have.
I don't need it. Don't worry about it.
They don't need it. Yeah.
All they need to know is R.I.P. Griffin, and that's it, dude. That's
all you gotta know. The father. Mm-hmm. And
by the way, I still have a bunch of those for the father bumper stickers.
Do you? I never got any of that, and I was really bummed that I couldn't go to the show.
I will send you some. Just I'll probably hit the Facebook group and remind people. I found like a stack of them when we just like reorganized the apartment, and I found a stack, and I was like, oh shit. So,
damn. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Joe. Yeah.
Joe.
So it was like halfway through that first tour, that headliner they're doing, and so I cleared it with the bar that I was working at the time, and I just hopped on. Like he wanted me to leave like within a couple days, so I typed out all the lyrics to the set, and I had my head in a notebook for a couple of days, and then it was a daylight savings weekend, so I ended up. My email confirmation said one time, but then I guess it didn't take into account the switchover, so I missed my flight like that Sunday, and then I flew in on a Monday, which was that first night when I saw you there. That was my first day.
I was gonna say Santa Cruz was like your first or second show with them, right? When I saw you
first, yeah, and I thought I had some like leeway time to maybe watch like the couple of guys that were helping out on stage, like just knew the songs real quick. They were getting a couple guys from the package to just fill in, and I thought that maybe I had a night or two of watching them do that before I had to hop on. And then like Joe has me run through sound check, and we're all upstairs in the green room, and he's like, "So how do you feel? You think you can do it?" And I was just like, "Huh? Fuck you say?" I was like, you know, dude, whatever, fine. Like, I'll be more or less this ready in a day or so. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
So if you look at pictures from that tour, there's all kinds of pictures, and I've even posted some before.
Yeah.
But if you look closely on the ground, either by the drum riser or by the stage monitor, like usually the center one, I've got my notebook of lyrics on the ground, and I'm just like, I'll peek at it like while I'm going, like, because I know a lot of the songs for a long time, but it's when you actually start performing them is when it gets a little like, oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, you gotta memorize like the rhythms and this, that, and all that all the other nonsense. You know what I mean? It's not easy.
The small shit you don't pay attention to when you're just listening for fun. You know?
Yeah, when you're just a fan, or they're just like your homies, and they're on stage and you're drinking, and you're like,
yeah, exactly. You're not like okay. So it was. So I guess to answer your question, getting back to that, it was that tour, if you want to count it. We had two little small sets of headlining runs like that following summer.
Mm-hmm.
But they were each like a week and a half long.
Okay,
and then we did like a week of like Christmas shows around then, and then I've done the As I Lay Dying tour, which was actually coming up on 2 years ago now, which is crazy. So I guess 4-ish.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like with an asterisk, but not a lot. Like I haven't really gotten to do a whole lot. It was like just picking up steam, and like we've been writing the album, and the original plan was for it to come out fall, like last fall is what we were like going to be pushing towards. And then it was like looking more towards originally June. It was like kind of what I'd heard months ago. We're like, let's push for June, and then COVID happens.
Yeah.
So it's like,
everything up. Yeah. I mean, like I was bummed when I heard Tim was leaving. I was like, man, how are they gonna bounce back from that? And then I found out it was you, and I was like, well, you know what? They can't really get a better option than that. Like, especially with the direction the band's music was going, like it still was the same, but like, oh, you need somebody that can dabble in like a little bit of the singing, a little bit of the, and I was like, okay. I was like, they did. That was smart to get the boy Steve.
Yeah, like honestly, like I couldn't really be more grateful for that either. Like there was already one guy from my previous band, and now it's just me, and like so now the band's just split down the middle. It's two of us from STM that live in Texas, and Joe and drummer live out in Massachusetts, and it's you couldn't really if things had to like fall apart a little bit here and there for both bands, and it came together like this as almost like a not a super group, but just like, dude, we're already friends, and it's like we were already in a band together, now we're just in this band together. It's like it's kind of just the stars aligned on that one, I think.
True.
It super worked out well.
And so, I haven't really kept in touch with the other guys that were in STM, but like except for you and you and Paolo are the only ones I really talk to.
Just yeah.
Like,
James like takes his breaks from Facebook, and Jared doesn't keep in contact with a lot of people.
James, he'll respond to stuff on like Twitter and my Instagram sometimes, and we chit chat for a few, and that's it. But like sure. I mean, I haven't talked to Paolo recently, but I haven't talked to a lot of people recently because COVID's insane. Dude,
it sucks.
I think STM also. I've recently become really good friends with a guy named Josh Wolf from Houston. He sings for a band called Rise From Your Grave. I told him I was going to have you on the show, and he said, I think you guys' old band played together at like Radiation Fest or something like that.
Oh shit, I remember Radiation Fest. I remember that flyer. I always thought the flyer was kind of cool.
Yeah. That was like one of the few flyers where I was like, oh, this is something new. Oh, this isn't cheesy. This doesn't look like shit.
No, yeah, that was fun. We got to stay in this like hotel, and I think James's girlfriend hit me in the face with a sandwich or something. It was pretty cool.
I mean, hey, can't really complain, right?
No, stuff happens in a hotel.
Hey, amen to that, brother. But
well,
like I mean, like I said, the Tim thing is like crazy,
dude. But what's cool is that like I still love Tim to death, and like we still talk like super constantly. There's no bad blood at all. It's a super cordial situation.
Yeah. Well, and Tim's a fucking man, dude. Like, I love that guy, man. Like, there are a few bands that I got to tour with where I just like it was all a party and I just loved it, and it was just like there's a lot of like dumb memories from like some of the more party bands that I toured with, and then there's like over the top like you're like this band is full of goofball moments, and then there's like just this is not real life, this is ridiculous, and like that's
just
like that's why Within the Ruins moments just plastered, you know what I mean? Like, dude, it's so many different places in the country, and I fucking love it, dude. Like, and I'm excited to hear the new music with you on it. Like, whenever that album comes out,
I'm allowed. I was told I'm allowed to say fall.
Okay, cool. I mean, that's what I figured. I know most labels are suffering really bad right now. So everybody watching this, if you can, support bands, labels, all of it, because
I've said some of that stuff too. Go do whatever you can do to support like bands and stuff. And I watched the Darius episode, and he said like he was, not having the greatest time, and I was just like, dude, I'm sure he's not the only one. And if you guys have anything you can do, pick up a shirt. And sometimes like I've heard you say it before too, bands are donating those funds too. I mean, it's not necessarily going to them, but like there's things you can do to help out with what's going on right now.
Yeah, dude, fucking there's just so much shit you can do. Like, everybody should find a way to help and benefit, and it doesn't matter if they're a local band, national band that tours internationally. Like, everybody should find a way to fucking help. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And a lot of labels are doing like the fall route, or the like I have a band that's getting ready to start releasing new music finally, that is the band I manage, and it's like, instead of doing the typical like here's 3 songs, like we're actually going to give the listeners 6 out of the 11 songs on the record first, because what's going on, nobody can play shows. Maybe you can do like a live stream set, maybe, but like, so it's like, here's the song, here's like they did like a straight up like cinematic video to go with it. Like, it looks like
cool,
some like old like snuff gothic film thing that goes with it, you know what I mean? And then we're gonna have a lyric video, and then we're gonna have like a cool like kind of like little insight into the guy's life video with the song playing, like stuff like that. Like it's in.
That's right.
And like at first I was like, "Fuck, man, what's the label gonna say?" Like when I come to them with like, "Yo, we want to basically show people half the album for free before it comes out," you know what I mean? But of course, there's a lot of like the crack where you pre-order and you get the music early and some of that.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, and luckily they were down for the idea. You know what I mean? But it's like
that's cool. Yeah,
I'm kind of forced to have to adapt right now.
Yeah, it's just been so weird, like because in STM I was band dead, so I was always talking to our agent, manager, guys at the label, whatever, and sometimes James. But like now in Ruins, it's Joe. Joe is like the absolute definition of band dad, where he takes care of everything. He's got his own studio. That's where we've recorded everything, and he does all the communication and stuff. And it's kind of nice that I don't have to do that anymore. But I like being in the loop, so I talk to our manager, Scott, a lot, and Joe. We have like a separate group text. It's just us. We talk about certain things. But as far as like all the
Scott Lee, you mean future me?
Future you? Why future you?
No, just that every time we're together, people are like,
"Are y'all?
Do you guys know you look alike?" I'm like,
No.
"Yeah, dude, we're both chubby dudes with facial hair who like metal and are probably wearing a fitted hat." Go.
Have you talked to him recently? I love getting his FaceTimes. They're the best.
We FaceTime.
Because that's the only way he'll communicate.
Oh yeah. Get on a phone call, and then next thing you know, he's fucking FaceTiming you, and it's like, all right.
I know, it's like, oh, and then it's just weird.
Yeah, no, I haven't talked to him in a minute. He calls me. I love that dude because like when I need him for business shit, he's not the easiest person to get a hold of because like we operate on different tiers of the music industry, which is fine.
For sure.
I always know my place, my size fish in the pond I am.
Dude, I have trouble getting a hold of him.
And I don't give a shit about that. But like I FaceTimed him once. He needed me for something, and I was on a cruise with Trina and her parents, and so I FaceTimed him from the cruise. And now he's always like, he'll FaceTime me, and I won't answer, and then he'll text me. He's like, "Yo, it's important," and I'll answer. And he's like, "Hey, yo, so this is what I want to take my wife on this vacation. Like, you got this type of vacation." I'm like, "Scott, are you fucking calling me for like vacation advice?"
Vacation advice?
He's like, "Dude, you vacation a lot. Like, you always have a good time, dude. Like, I just need to know. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna ask anybody. I'm gonna ask Joel Cupcake.
I guess, dude. So I love it.
Yeah, but I guess like I don't know the ins and outs of what we have planned for it necessarily. We have the 3 songs that we know that are going to be the singles, but I don't know what the layout is just yet.
And that's coming out on E1, right?
E1, yeah. So, speaking of that, I don't know. Did you see that article that came out? It was 2-3 months ago or so, maybe 4, that Hasbro purchased E1.
Yeah,
the toy company Hasbro.
I saw that. I didn't read the full article, but I saw it and I was like, the fuck? Well, because E1's not just like E1 heavy. They have like 3 or 4 different divisions of the company, right?
They've got divisions, and they do like film stuff also. Like I've watched, like, I'll watch some certain movie that's streaming, and it'll pop up. It says E1 Entertainment. And I'm like, hey, cool.
Oh, see,
so like they do all, they do movie stuff too. Like so they've got their hands in everything, and I don't know what the interaction with Hasbro is going to be like. But I made a joke. I made a joke I think it would be kind of cool, so it's not a total joke. But like if we did like pre-order packages that had like action figures of each one of us, if fucking Hasbro's taking over, like
the Within the Ruins set, like it's like the 4 of you guys with like a stage instead of a wrestling ring. You know what I mean?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, dude, that
would be cool. So I don't know. Yeah, we're turning. It's fall is what, like I said, what I'm allowed to say. So I don't know what the touring situation is going to be like around then.
I mean, nobody does. I mean, as a promoter, I can tell everybody that like basically everything just got pushed back till next year again. Like,
and I was seeing, like, tell me what you think of this. I saw that Shadow of Intent tour that got announced today with Versions Crown, Angel Maker, Last 10, going over to Europe, and I was like, wait, I thought America was just banned from Europe. Did I?
Well, the visa companies and like the embassies always have more information than the rest of us. They just they just do. I'm assuming in general traveling there is going to be limited. I'm assuming there's going to be a couple extra loopholes now for like because it used to be pretty easy to go from America there. Like, it was expensive to get the visas, but like there wasn't a lot of loopholes you really had to jump through. I'm assuming there's just going to be more now. Like, where's your merch coming from? Where are you coming from? Where's your guitars being shipped, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, all those bands have big teams behind them and big legal teams behind them. Like, except I think Angel Maker's the only like really independent band, but like they are from.
Because they're not from here. Where are they from?
They're from Canada.
It's Canada? Okay.
So, but I mean, they're from Canada. Versions is from Australia, and then obviously Last Hint and Angel Make, and then just Last Hint's from America. So
Show a Shadow.
Well, yeah, and Shadow, and those two are spread out from all the different states. I'm assuming there's some visa things. I mean, the rest of the world is recovering very, very steadily. I think a lot of the whole like Americans can't come to Europe thing. I think a lot of that is a like. Nobody, like a lot of the other major nations, don't want to just straight up tell Trump he sucks or that he's bad at his job. But I think that that's kind of their way of like, you guys collectively need to get your shit together before we let any of you come here. You know what? Does that make sense,
dude? Oh, it makes complete sense, dude. And I don't even if like they're people in charge from any of those countries would be like, no, y'all need to get your shit together before you come over here. I'd be like, thank you. Yes, please tell them. Like, dude, we're so fucked, dude. It's stupid seeing all the graphs of like everybody's numbers going down. I could be wrong, but I think I saw it might have been Sweden that has just lost its final.
I think it's Sweden.
Is it
Sweden? Like Sweden or the Netherlands or one of those places is like
that has 0 confirmed cases anymore.
0.
Yeah, and I'm like,
like I think John, I think, is in Florida from Last 10, so he'll have the most difficulty if things stay the way they are. You know, I mean, I heard this could be a rumor, but like I heard that the fucking mayor of Ocala was straight up like, I'm not letting the government fine any of you. Everything in the city, every business can operate as usual. I don't care. Like, I won't let the federal government like fine you or bill you or take you to court.
Wow.
So like that's one of the reasons, Florida and Texas, I think, California is getting pretty bad. We're getting up there because of the beaches. Like they're saying don't go to the beach, but like there's the cops. Well, I mean, obviously the cops aren't doing their fucking jobs anyways, which is why America is where we're at. But like law enforcement could be patrolling. How hard is it to patrol the major freeways? Oh, I'm sorry, you're from this county and you're traveling this county. Why? Yeah. Oh, you don't have an important health or family reason? Oh, you're going to the beach? Turn around or pay a fine. You know what I mean? Like it's not that hard. People are already asking like these masks and all this other shit encroaches on their freedom. And like not people to go out and get dinner. So why don't you do something that actually encroaches on their freedom, but makes all of us a healthier country? I would have no problem with that if they were like, yo, you cannot leave your county for 2 months, or there's like a $300 to $500 fine. I would straight up be like, that is fine, because I guarantee you it would immediately drop the number of cases basically like in half.
Yeah, I mean, because you're already at least like isolating people. I mean, it's bad enough in certain places as it is, but if you at least isolate and then let those numbers drop at least there, so those people that already have a problem following the rules aren't going to other places and not following the rules. Like, okay, if you're going to not follow the rules, do it in one place. And then, it sounds like a lesser of two evils thing, but I mean, dude.
I'm like, my thing is like, so when this all first started happening, everybody was like, is it real? Is it not? This, that, other thing. Like, I'm sure you saw some of those posts that came out of like Italy, where they were like, America, like, you need to listen. This is what is going to happen.
Yeah, at the very beginning of all this, they were just
there was something, I think it was on the news on Sunday here in the Bay. That's one of the Texas hospitals. One of the doctors was like, I had like 8 people phone in. There was like 8 or 9 people called. They were all like under the age of 30. So younger than you and me, Steve, that called, and they were like, we have corona. It's like severe. We need ventilators, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. And like, he had to choose whose cases were more severe and who could come to the hospital and be seen because they're out of room. And that was the number one thing Italy warned us of, was like the doctors were basically having to make what they were calling wartime decisions, where the doctors.
Well, you have to decide.
Yeah, the doctors didn't have time to talk to politicians, talk to insurance companies.
No, you got to make a call.
That mattered. Yeah, it was literally just straight up like the doctor has to make the choice who lives and who dies. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like that's fucking scares the shit out of me. You know what I mean? Like I've been pretty good, you know. So, but my girlfriend and I both have like, you know, even when we are around people, you know, for whatever the short time or whatever reason it might be, it's been very, very, very rare. But like we try to practice, we wear our masks, we do our social distancing, you know, shit like that. You know.
Yeah, we try to also. Like I still work at a bar, and we like at least in Texas, it was bars, gyms, and car dealerships that were the top three. Yeah, I thought that was weird too. Bars and gyms, total sense. Makes total sense. People get drunk and stupid, or people are sweating on equipment, and you know both of those things make total sense. Car dealerships, I don't know, but that was the statistic, so I'm not going to argue numbers. But like we were trying to do everything that we could to sanitize after people sat there, and you know did the 6 feet tables, and you can't sit at the bar. You know, we had to wear masks, and if you stood up, you had to put your mask on, even if you're going to take a pee or something.
And, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were following all that.
And here, it's basically like, you know, you can go out to dinner. If you're at your table, you can take your mask off, but like you're not supposed to have it on anytime after that. My county just made it mandatory. So like it's actually like if you get caught without a mask, you get fined $300.
Dude, and like that should have been the fucking case to begin with.
I thought it was, and apparently it wasn't here. It was a recommendation, but then what they were doing is the businesses had to enforce you, and if the businesses didn't,
they left it up to them
got caught letting people in without masks on, the businesses would get fined. And I'm like, dude, what are you like? The businesses are already hurting. Like, why can't you just find the idiot who wants to not wear a mask?
Yeah, it's dumb. So and then we opened back up. We opened back up for 5 weeks, and that was when I actually kind of fell out of Call of Duty. I know you, me, and DeFonce were playing for a while, and then our bar opened back up, and I kind of I was playing maybe once a week, if that. Like so I was picking up extra shifts because there were people that didn't want to work or didn't even come back after we shut down the first time, and then so I was just working, and the nights that I had off, I just didn't have the energy to play video games. I just laid down. And then after 5 weeks, it just got bad enough, and we eventually just closed back down again. So we tried, but it's just like, you know what, if we had not opened up any of that stuff for that amount of time and just, hey, stuff's still closed, wear a mask, like just from the beginning, we should have heeded the warnings that were given to us. We should be trusting science. We should be trusting the numbers. Like,
well, according to the fucking, you know, the large Oompa Loompa in the big house, science isn't real. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, dude. Just whole other podcast on that fucking guy.
Dude, seriously. Jeez. We could fucking go on and on about that. We could go on for another hour. We know each other so well. Mm-hmm. So I will definitely have you for another episode. I would like to have another episode where we talk about how the last couple tours were and fucking.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get to a lot.
We didn't even get to a lot of that. So let's just schedule a second episode. So let me start my rap questions. We did break an hour already. I didn't even fucking realize that. So
dang. All right.
Yeah, exactly. So because I definitely want to get to more of the ruin stuff. A lot some tour stories. I definitely need to get you on the show talking about touring with fucking Asley Dying.
Oh yeah,
how people feel about that band? It's fucking Asley Dying. You know what I mean? Not saying either. I'm not commenting either way on Tim, but that metalcore wouldn't be what it is without that fucking band. Period. And if you don't agree, I don't know what fucking scene you grew up in.
I agree fully. We can just do it soon. We can just do it.
We'll
right back up.
We'll do. Yeah, I'll have you back again really, really soon. I promise.
For sure. I'm in.
Well, let's get ready to start rap.
Cool.
What is, so I have the important question and then the fun nonsense. So as we before mentioned, we didn't get into it on this episode because we know each other so well. We've been rambling.
We've been rambling so hard.
But I have that. That's why I like the show, and I love having these people on that are my friends like you because it's so natural. It's the conversation still flows pretty well.
Yeah. But it's not these are my questions for you today.
Yeah, it's like, so we didn't really get to touch on the whole Silence the Messenger thing. So like, I know, as we both alluded, that like you guys got the short end of the stick. You got some raw deals, some raw people that you worked with. Like it just towards, you guys kind of got fucked towards the end of the band's career. I think that's the blunt way to
Without a
say
doubt.
it. So instead of getting into that detail, like, so say there's a band that's like done it. They do great regionally. They hustle tickets. They draw well. They've done like the 1 or 2 self-booked tours. They're trying to make the jump to the next level. Like what is like your biggest tip for a band that's like trying to regionally solidify their footing and like maybe make the jump to touring, semi frequently? Like whether it's like find a team, whether it's like have your shit together, whether it's like do you it doesn't have to be. I don't need like a specific tip from one spec of industry. It's just like what's the number one thing you think?
My thing is always like I'm very at least when it comes to band stuff, I'm very much like, okay, what is the layout going to be? How is this going to be organized? I like to have all the details of exactly what's going to happen. Like, I guess the easy thing to say is don't wing it. Like, have your shit together. If you can, get past the having a demo phase and have just even if you need to go out on just an EP, like 4, 5, 6 songs, have an EP, have something you can give to people, or if it's just download cards if you don't have the money to print physicals.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I brought those up on an earlier episode. You get the download card that has 3 tracks off of it. Dude,
those are cheap.
It costs you like $1.99, like if that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, do that, and then make sure those things, if you're going to be doing that, have like a Square reader or something so people can be paying you that way, but have some sort of organization with what you're doing when you go out. Don't and as much as you can anyways, because that shit gets pricey, making sure your van and trailer's in order, making sure you have merch, that kind of thing. I think just like have your shit situated and ready to go and have a plan. Don't be doing stuff last minute. Don't make sure you've got all of your dates and routing set and you've got the tour. And if you have to do the stuff on your own, reaching out to venues, making sure they have flyers, send them stuff, see if they're doing their promotions right, and have it planned out. I think that's probably the first thing that kind of comes to mind. I mean, there's a million things to make sure that stuff goes right.
Exactly.
But have a plan and be organized. As much in advance as you can have your financial situation set. Do that. You're going to spend a lot of your own money for a while. But have some in the bank. I've left for tours with like $60 in my bank account before, and I'm gone for 3 or 4 weeks. And you got to find a way to make it work. That's just the life. But have a plan. Be organized. I think that's the first thing and easiest thing I could say is have a plan.
Yeah. Okay. Word. That's great advice. A lot of people. I don't think that specific piece of advice has been given yet. So. I will. I like that. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, keep it neat.
Yeah, no, for sure. Okay. Now we're down to the cheese ball stuff. What's your favorite color?
I'm gonna say green because that was my favorite color when I was a kid. But I've always liked to. I mean, I wear black like all the time. Like that's my color. But I would say green. I've always liked a toxic green. Like a lime toxic electric kind of green.
My headphones, almost.
Yeah, exactly. Your headphones works. Another one because like we're the same age. Like I'm 32. You just turned 34. Yeah. Like I'm a total 90s kid. So
amen.
All like 90s colors that pop.
I got you. Surge green. That's all you need.
Surge green is perfect.
That's all you need.
Did you buy one of those cases when they got released on like Amazon? I bought a whole case of them years ago when they came back.
I'm actually gonna piss you off by telling you what I'm about to tell you. The guy that I actually got the petition signed for them to release those like 2 batches of Surge, I actually know him. Like he's a friend of my old roommates that when I lived in that big house in San Jose. Our main roommate, the guy that actually started Pinup, Andrew, is friends with the guy who did the whole crowdfunding signature petition thing to get Surge back. So he used to come over to the house parties and just bring a case of Surge with him.
Really?
Yeah, he always had like first fucking dibs, dude. Like,
dude.
Yeah, he owns a practice studio in San Jose called 8-Bit Castle, or he doesn't own. He runs. I should say he runs. He doesn't own it.
Sure.
And in the fucking lobby, there's actually a fucking Surge vending machine. Like he has one of those.
Fuck off.
From Coke. Yeah, it's insane.
With the big Surge, like the green logo, the whole.
Yes.
Oh man, the Surge was my jam, dude.
Yes, I think you can still get it from Coke in like very limited quantities. Sometimes.
But some restaurants have it. I saw it on the As LA Dying tour. There was some Burger King we were driving by had a sign in like a little sign no bigger than this, just in by the sidewalk. That was like Surge served here or something like that. I was like,
they're doing Surge, and they were doing Surge like whatever the Slurpees at Burger King are called, the Freezes, or I don't know, every fast food place calls them something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Squishies.
Yeah.
From The Simpsons.
Okay, tight.
Toxic green, Surge green. That works.
Yes, I love it.
Real quick, I have to say real quick while you were talking this on this screen, I noticed that you have that same Nickelodeon clock.
Oh yes,
dude, I have that exact same one. You know the one I'm talking about with the green zzz and the cool buttons and shit?
It's in our bedroom. Yeah, because I filmed the last episode in the bedroom. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed you had that, and I was like, I had that, and I put it up for sale on eBay once because I was trying to make a little extra cash. And then I had a bid on it and everything, and the guy got real mad because I pulled it back, and I was like, I can't get rid of this. I just can't. Yeah,
no. So like I have this like small collection of shit I've just held on to since I was a kid, and that's one of the things. Like the green bar, like the little pulse.
My favorite thing when it lit up.
It does not light up anymore. And like I think it still does that like the gack sound if I set the alarm function, but like I just use my cell phone for an alarm because it's fucking 2020. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, it's 2020. I don't need.
But yeah,
Nickelodeon yelling at me.
That thing with me since I was a kid, man. Like it's one of the few things I saved / my parents were like smart enough to like it's not if my dad's a big like if it ain't broke don't fix it person. Like I say that a lot now.
Yeah.
And like that was one of those things where I was like, why do I need a new clock? This is Nickelodeon. And then I was like, there was like a little lull period where like it wasn't tight. And then like they came out with SpongeBob and it was like okay to talk about Nickelodeon again. And then now it's like that shit's just super fucking vintage and I love it, dude.
Dude, it is kind of vintage now. Yeah. Hell yeah. I back that. It's the little things.
It's sick. Okay, so this is a 2-part question. First part, what's your favorite food?
Oh, burgers.
Tight. Where is your favorite place to eat on tour that you cannot get at home in San Antonio?
Okay. See, I thought about this because watching the episodes, I knew these questions were coming, so I thought about my answers. And at first, too, I was just like, oh, he's pulling a Monty Python. Like, what is your favorite color? What? And
I'm glad you had that Monty Python reference. I should have fucking been doing that this whole time, dude.
That's exactly what I thought you were going to do.
What is the approximate flying velocity of a swallow?
African or European? I don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know that.
That's where I thought you were going with this. So I had to throw that at you. So maybe use it. You could take it.
Maybe.
But see, then it's like, what if everyone doesn't get it because they're not super cool?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Favorite food, burger, and then other one is favorite place to eat on tour. The answer that I had originally come up with was because you had worded it. What's your favorite thing you can get on tour that you can't get at home?
I mean that works too. If you want to answer, it's all the same. It's a paraphrasing. You know what I mean?
Sure. Because I don't like. It's tough because it. What I would answer the latter question with. I like that when Rubens goes out, Joe's always wanted to try different breweries all over the place. Mm-hmm. So because he's got his own in Massachusetts, he always wants to see what other people are doing across the country, like. We're either stopping, dude. It's constantly always either BJ's or we find a local brewery that's like an hour from the venue or something that's close to the venue, and we're always finding local spots to try local beers and stuff. I mean, we'll usually have like a case of like Miller or Coors in the van. It's just like water beers just to kind of hang out. But like before and after, we're looking for dinner. Yeah, you gotta hydrate, man.
Side note, maybe. On the story of the water beers, I never called like a 30 pack of beer a 30 rack until I met with him in the ruins, and now really? Like I'm always like, yeah, let's get a 30 rack, and people over here on the West Coast are like,
Like, what are you talking about?
And I'm like, dude, a 30 rack, dude. Like, let's get a 30 rack and
let's get a 30 rack. Let's shred, man. Dude, all about it. Oh man, I just so many of those stories. Like, that's what I would show up to any Ruins hangout night. Like, if they were in town or we went to go see them, it'd always be like, I gotta get a rack, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have a specific food. I mean, because like I'm a giant food guy.
Yeah.
And I've got to throw the shade at that's the Whataburger versus In-N-Out, dude. It's absolutely Whataburger. It is.
But okay, but that's not the point. But where
it's not the point. But
give me where you like to eat. I knew that was going to fight. Everybody, almost every episode brings up either that or the Sheetz Wawa debate. Like almost every episode.
For sure, those are the two big like touring versus matches.
Which, by the way, my answer, if I had to choose, I would take an In-N-Out hamburger paired with a side of chicken strips and fries from Whataburger. That's what I would do.
Here's how much I pay attention. It's because I mean I take this very seriously. And you would get the fries with honey mustard.
Oh, dude! And when you say you want the large honey mustard, it's like a fucking bucket, dude.
They're like, dude, we got it. I mean, and the whole this like seriously, the Whataburger In-N-Out thing is totally like a half hour, 45-minute thing that can just go on. And obviously, you know what side I'm gonna fall on, but
I should just get a bunch of touring dudes on this, like a 5-panel, and we just do that, dude. Like a whole.
Dude, and we go see but like you gotta have like.
Because then there's like Whataburger versus In-N-Out. There's Sheetz versus Wawa. Mm-hmm. There's Buc-ee's versus the world, and then there's
Sheetz versus Wawa, Buc-ee's.
Yeah, and then there's like Steak Shack or Steak and Shake. Sorry, Steak and Shake versus like Waffle House, maybe, I don't know. And then there's obviously there's Chipotle versus Qdoba.
But down it depends, I guess, what part of the country you're on. I still actually haven't gotten to have Qdoba, and it's made me mad because I've known about it for years, and I've just never actually had it.
I am a person that I rarely talk shit on Chipotle, just because like it's always filling. Even if the food doesn't taste as good as the time before, it always fills you up, and like can't really complain. But Qdoba trumps that place like. Like,
do you guys have Freebirds though?
The first Freebirds is in Santa Barbara.
Is it? Oh.
You can go in. It has none of the branding of the other Freebirds.
Really?
It's a basic menu, and everything is local sourced from the farms in the valley around.
That's pretty sick.
Santa Barbara. It's like weird because you walk in, you're like, this isn't a Freebirds, but then you eat the food, and you're like, and like that's the one where they invented the quesarito and like.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
See, but I think it would depend for me because if I want a burrito, I would go to Freebirds. If I want a Chipotle, I almost 99% of the time I get a bowl. You just get a bowl.
A bowl, or like if you want like white person tacos, they're white person tacos.
Sure. Yeah, they are. I mean, yeah, they are.
They do something. Their guac and their sour cream is so good. Like at Chipotle, like every time. So
the guac is great.
I love it, dude.
The guac's great, but their queso is trash.
Oh, I didn't even bring that up.
Oh, I'll bring it up. Chipotle's queso. Chipotle, you listening?
See, fucking.
It's still trash.
Qdoba has incredible queso.
Oh, you know what? See, I mean, I guess I need to go there because, like, dude, I'm a Texas boy, man. Like, we have Mexican food down here all the time. I know it's different than y'all's, but like, dude, I gotta have queso every single time. I don't care where I'm going. I need queso.
Dude, Taco Cabana,
except Chipotle. Dude,
Taco Cabana, I miss it, dude.
I wish
if Taco C came to California, they would literally just shit all over Taco Bell, like that type of food, especially with.
The
restaurant.
But I don't disagree with you that they'd probably shit all over Taco Bell out there, but then they're competing with Del Taco.
Honestly, I'll be real with you. So many of the Del Tacos have been shut down.
We had a couple here that closed down too.
They're harder and harder to find. Like, I don't even have one. The closest one to me. Do you know? Like, I mean, you've been in California enough. Like, when you're driving through 101, and there's like that fucking place where it has the big sign that says Pea Soup Anderson's.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
So that place is almost 2 hours from where I live, and that's the closest Del Taco.
Really?
Yeah, they've shut down there's no Del Tacos in the Bay. It's all like the valley.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I figured out the answer to the food part. The getting what I can't have on tour is like we always like go to different breweries and try different beers. I think that's sick. The foods, I'll say I got to do a 2-part answer. I'm going to say anytime I go out to see you and I can have Pizza My Heart or any kind of like local, everything local. Like I love to.
Yeah.
You can have 2. You get 2. Anything local. I love to eat like local stuff. We don't eat fast food very often. We actually try and eat like fairly decently just to, we're not a band. We're not the like biggest band in the entire world, but like
the Ruins guys taught me the magic of grilling on tour, bro. Like you grill, and the simple grilled meal is always better for you and your tummy than fast food.
It totally is. Like we very rare. Like we'll do it in a pinch, but we very rarely get fast food. It's always like we'll sit down somewhere, and it's not like to be bougie, but it's just like, dude, we're not grinding it out anymore. We don't have to eat like shit. So it'll be anything local, but specifically Pizza My Heart if I come out to see you on that coast. Mm-hmm. Or I guess I'm sticking to pizza on this. Is I fucking love a New York slice though.
Oh
like, like it's tough. I mean, I know there's it's the same thing with burgers. Like there's different types and whatever, but. Man, some of those places that are like $5 or something, maybe $3 or $4 for like a couple slices and a Coke or something. And like, I'm super about those. I think that's what I'd have to say.
Okay. All right. I love that answer. You can't go wrong with pizza, dude.
No, dude, you can't. It's easy.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think we're down to my final question.
Okay. Is it how much you miss me? Is that the question? How much do you miss me?
Well, that was kind of like a given. You know what I mean?
True.
But no, the
answer is a lot.
Oh, okay. Excellent. The final question is, everybody has a quality that they wish more people knew about them, or they wish, was more apparent, or like, for example, like me, behind me, this bookshelf. Behind me is like full of books and I've read almost all of them. You know what I mean? I actually like to read. I used to be a much bigger book nerd than I am now, but fact still stands. I'm a book nerd. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And like a lot of people don't know that about me. So like, I know with you, especially being a musician, like sometimes there's stuff you don't show your fans, or you wish your fans knew about you, or just like, hey, here's what people see about me on the internet, or here's how the people that see me every day at the bar see me. Like, is there like a trait or a personality that you wish more people knew about that you have?
It's. I mean, it is tough because you have to have that like internet personality, bar personality to kind of as a face, and don't get me wrong, like a lot of that is still me, but because I try and be as genuine and just real as I can, because I think that is a lot of what people like about social media, is that you get to see people a little bit more in their element and doing what they like to do, not just, oh, I saw Korn in a magazine and I'm seeing it at a show and then like that's all I know about Korn, unless you were cool enough to buy like the DVD and all the behind the scenes stuff, which was totally me. But I don't know, because I do try and put out like a little bit of everything here and there. But I think one of the big things that I don't particularly talk about enough is that like, I think it's real. I mean, maybe I do. I guess it depends if you follow me on Twitter or not. I don't talk about it as much on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. But every once in a while I do put something, but I try not to be super, super divisive. Where I'm going to be divisive is Twitter, for sure.
Fair.
Like, like Devon's is doing the same thing. And like, honestly, I'm all about it. Like, some of this stuff just needs to finally get said. But I think the biggest thing is like, I really think education is important. And so like you with reading, I actually have a ton of books too. I went on like a big buying spree like a year, 2 years ago, where I've got books that I haven't read, but I had like a small bookshelf, yay long. And I ran out of room immediately. I've got like a ton of books and I've read a lot of them, but I think education and learning and just being aware is very important. And like I said earlier, my girlfriend's a teacher, and it's super cool to have that like extra level of respect. Mm-hmm. It's like you're in charge of teaching the people that are going to be in charge later, potentially. I think education and learning is super, super important. So that's why I think listening to science and reason. And so I started diving really big, like about 5-6 years ago, diving really big into philosophy and religion a lot. And just learning a lot about that stuff. And so those are topics that I take really, really seriously, especially the religion thing and how it ties into politics a lot. And I think it kind of affects society more than people think about. I think once I started learning kind of how to think instead of being told what to think, I think that's very important. And I think that's how we should be probably teaching kids, is not indoctrinating them with any political views or religious views necessarily, but like teach them a little bit of everything and let them decide, let them figure it out, and then respect the fact that they've taken the time to learn. And us, like guys our age, especially people with platforms, doing the same thing. Like, let's, the information needs to get out there and people will do with it what they will. But learning and education, I think, is like super, super important. And I've always, I know, like we're all like party dudes. We like to have fun and play video games and stuff. But I think that what's up here is super important. And
so, sorry, what you mean to tell me is you're a clever girl?
Jurassic Park, baby. Clever girl.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yes,
I love that answer. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, man, for sure.
All right,
I like brains.
My longest episode yet, actually.
Is it?
Yes.
Fuck, man, we hit a long one.
Yeah, we have. We have been chit-chatting. All right, Steve, thank you for joining me on this show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, you're welcome. Everybody, thanks for listening to Steve and I. Hope you learned some cool shit. Check out Within the Ruins. Check out Silence the Messenger. Hit the subscribe button below this fucking video if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on a podcast network, I am not too podcast savvy. I'm assuming there's some sort of subscribe or notify me when there's a new episode out now. Please feel free to hit that. I did recently start a Facebook page for this lovely little vlogcast as well. If you go on Facebook, give that a fucking like ski. I'll be starting to do more live episodes on Twitch and some of that stuff as well. Find me on Twitch. It's just Joel Cupcake. Steve, how can everybody find you? Oh, we already said that. It's at Steve the Mess.
Oh yeah. I'm, like I said, I'm easy to find. It's Steve the Mess. Steve the Mess everywhere. It's all good. This will be. Let's call this part 1, and we'll just kind of pick. There's a million things that you and I can talk about. So
too many. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. This has been another episode of Yo Boy Unedited.
Cheers, everyone.